Welcome back, everyone, once again to Power Director Made Simple. A few weeks ago, I read a post on the user forum of CyberLink in which one user complained about the loss of the sample images not being automatically loaded into the library window when the program started up. And that person asked CyberLink to bring it back the way it used to be. Now, in my typical sarcastic form, I felt compelled to reply, asking this person if one mouse click was just too much of an effort for them to perform. All that any user needs to do is to click once on the link in the library window that says Use Sample Media. Well, that person accused CyberLink of lazy programming. And the person also referenced something about the previous ability to change or customize the media in the sample folder. Well, I guess I'm just a newbie when it comes to running Power Director because I sure don't remember that ability ever being part of the Power Director program. But the memory does tend to fade when you get over 90 years of age. But maybe that person was talking about something that they learned elsewhere that showed users how to actually add or change the sample media that the program will use when it starts up. So right now, I'm going to click on the link to use the sample media. And when it loads, immediately you'll see media files that you've never seen before as samples. And the reason is simple. I have modified the sample media folder. But I had to do it ahead of time, and there is no way that I know of to accomplish those changes from within the program. Now, in the library window, I'm going to click on the three dots and select View Extra Large Icons so that you can read the entire file name that I have given them. And then I'm going to click on the three dots again and select Sort By, and then choose Type until I get those PNG files that are at the top. I'm going to start at the top and go through many of these just so that you can see the variety of media that can be used. Now, everything that CyberLink presents seems to be plain Jane files that fit perfectly with no problems or no exceptions. Well, first of all, you can see the three PNG files. I'm going to right-click on the first one and select Open File Location. And unlike any of the Getty downloads, this time you get to see exactly where the sample files reside on your hard drive. I'm going to drag over the File Explorer window that opened, and there you can see those same 19 media files that are currently in the library window. Now, here is a very important point that I want everyone to hear. If you look closely at the folder names, I created one called Original Sample Clips, and I moved all of the CyberLink files over to that folder. Now, if I wanted to, I could delete all of those that I've added and move the originals right back into place. If you want to have your own media clips appear instead of CyberLinks, then I suggest that you save the originals in a folder that you can create just like I did, and I strongly suggest that you do not touch or change any other folder. If you somehow manage to totally mix things up, you can always go back in the CAM and re-download the latest version. By the way, the next time you get an update, you'll have to do this all over again because each update creates new folders, including the folder with the sample clips. You can add as many media clips of your own as you wish, but if you put 1,000 files in there, don't blame me if your system becomes sluggish and has memory problems. I have my own memory problems to deal with. I'm going to move the File Explorer window out of the way for now. But I just can't stop this video here. There is more to learn about sample media clips. One of the problems with the CyberLink sample media clips is that they are all perfect fits for resolution and video attributes. In the real world, not everything is textbook perfect. Now let's take a look at my clips. I'm going to click on that first PNG file and select Properties. In the middle of that Properties window, it shows the image is 1280 by 720 which is slightly less than a desirable resolution if this were a video, but it works just fine for a still image that has no motion in it. And because 1280 by 720 is a 16 by 9 aspect ratio, it fills the preview window completely. I'll close the properties window, and then I'm going to select the next PNG file and bring up the properties tab for this one. It is only 612 by 612, a square 1:1 aspect ratio, and it shows that in the preview window in that the black area does not extend all the way to the sides. Now, actually, I can use this particular PNG file in any aspect ratio presentation simply because all that black area that you see is really a transparent background in the PNG file. In reality, the TV could appear on top of any other image or video and you would never know that it is a different resolution. The Properties tab for the third PNG file shows that it is a common 1920 by 1080 resolution. And that blends well with any of my typical video presentations. This is exactly what you get with all of the original CyberLink sample media clips. I'll click on the next file, which is an MP4 4K video of some various creepy crawly bugs on blue and green backgrounds. Now, I'm not sure why it is not listed with the other MP files that were sorted down towards the bottom, but maybe the fact that it has an audio channel makes it different. I'll move the playhead in the preview window to about 356 or so, and let's watch what you can do with this kind of stuff. And then I'm going to hit play.
Well, happy anniversary, babe.
Cheers.
Well, happy anniversary, babe.
Cheers.
When I select the Properties tab of that file, notice the 4K resolution of 3840 by 2160, which fits well with the same 16:9 aspect ratio. If I were to use this video in my project, then if I were to choose to render out the final video at 1920 by 1080, this video would be downscaled to fit. Conversely, if I rendered the final video output to be a 4K resolution, then any other clips that were actually 1920 by 1080 would be upscaled to the 4K resolution. Just how much loss of video quality that can be detected by the human eye when viewed on the most commonly used monitor screens is somewhat debatable. Well, next, you can see that there are 4 MP3 files that I usually use for the background music. The file names on 3 of them indicate that they came from the YouTube audio library, and the other one was downloaded from Pixabay. Following those, there are several JPEG images, but each is at a vastly different resolution and there are some variance in the aspect ratios of each one. I'll select the first one, and it shows a person sitting in front of 2 monitor screens, obviously editing a video. When I right-click to show properties, this one is 8192 by 4320, which is a professional 8K resolution used in digital cinema and high-end videography. It is a more specific format than the consumer 8K Ultra High Def standard, which is only 7680 pixels wide, yet PowerDirector fits it just fine in the preview window. The next JPEG that looks very suspiciously similar to the old Windows XP desktop image, it shows that its properties that it is a more common 1920 by 1080 resolution. Next to that is a JPEG image of a walking skeleton. The Properties tab for this image indicates a resolution of 566 by 566, which seems like an odd number, but that is the actual vertical resolution used for Instagram images. Now notice also that it has a black background similar to what we just saw on the old TV screen. But because it is a JPEG, it cannot have a transparent background. Thus, if I were to use this skeleton over a video clip, then the entire black background would show. I could use a number of tools to remove the black background and resave it as a PNG with a transparent background. The next JPEG shows a robot sitting at a desk using a laptop computer. The Properties tab indicates a totally non-standard resolution of 7172 by 4787. Now, if I drag that JPEG down to the timeline, PowerDirector tries to match the project aspect ratio and assumes that it must be a 4:3 aspect ratio, and it switches the project setting over to that ratio. It fits the width into the adjusted preview window, but there are black bars visible at the top and bottom of the image simply because the image is not tall enough to fill out the 4:3 aspect ratio. If I switch the project setting back to 16:9, PowerDirector then fits the height to the preview window, but there are substantial black bar areas to the sides. If you look at the file name of the clip either in the library window or on the timeline, notice it ends with Getty in parentheses. Now, this is a common practice of mine to indicate where I got the image, the song, or the video from, just in case any copyright problems arise in the future. And this is a particular problem with most of the Getty images that you download, in that the resolution sizes are all over the place. If you don't want to deal with black bars, then the only permanent solution is to crop the image and resize it as desired using various window tools or other third-party graphic software. If I want to merely adjust the display size directly in PowerDirector until it completely fits the screen, then I'll grab onto one of the corner control nodes and I'll drag it down and resize the image. Until I get it to completely fill up the preview window. Now, fortunately, in this case, I don't really lose any needed detail, but this is only a temporary cure while it is in use in PowerDirector. The original image still remains a weird size. For the remainder of the clips in the library window, the same thing holds true. There are some different resolutions that may need adjusting in PowerDirector to avoid showing black bars. But the point is that the sample clips do not need to be all textbook perfect in resolution or aspect ratio. It may require you to make some display adjustments in PowerDirector, but then again, that's all part of the experience. I hope this video has been of some help to you. If you want to try to change the sample clips or just add a few of your own to the CyberLink clips, remember to not change any of the original folder names or move folders to a different location. If you somehow manage to screw things up, just leave a comment on this video and I'll give you precise instructions on how to reset things back to normal. I also suppose I'm liable to get a message from CyberLink telling me to cease and desist in telling users how to modify the program. My response to them will be to say that I'll pass their message on to my development team, which, by the way, is the same thing that they say to many users with problems and complaints in their user feedback forum. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
And the closest to heaven that I'll ever be. And I don't wanna go home right now. And all I could taste is this moment. And all I can breathe is your light. And sooner or later it's over. I just don't wanna miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. And you can't fight the tears that ain't coming, all the moment of truth in your lies. When everything feels like the movies, yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. And I don't